Young women are wet when they show these. 5 signs female psychology revealed. Stoicism. Stop right there. Before you watch another dating advice video that tells you to decode secret signals, I need you to understand something crucial. The person sitting across from you at that coffee shop, the colleague who lingers after meetings, or that friend who always seems to light up when you text them back. They're not sending you encrypted messages that require a PhD in psychology to understand. What if I told you that genuine interest isn't hidden at all? That the ancient Stoics understood something about human nature? That modern dating culture has completely forgotten? And that the real signs someone is drawn to you have nothing to do with playing games or reading minds? We're going to dive deep into the psychology of authentic attraction. Not manipulation tactics, not pickup artist nonsense, but real, scientific insights combined with timeless, Stoic wisdom that will completely change how you understand human connection. Hit that subscribe button if you're ready to move beyond surface-level dating advice, and let's get started. Here's what we're covering today. First, we'll explore why most dating advice gets human psychology completely wrong, and what the Stoics knew about authentic connection that we've forgotten. Then, I'll walk you through the 5 genuine signs of interest that actually matter. And they might surprise you. These aren't manipulative games or tricks to make someone like you. These are natural human behaviors that emerge when someone feels genuine connection. We'll dive into the neuroscience behind attraction, explore how ancient Stoic principles apply to modern relationships, and I'll share real examples and case studies throughout. Finally, we'll discuss how to respond to these signs with wisdom and authenticity. Because recognizing interest is only half the equation. And stick around until the end, because I'm going to share the one Stoic principle that completely changed how I approach relationships. Something Marcus Aurelius wrote that will shift your entire perspective on human connection. Chapter 1. The Foundation. The problem with modern dating advice. Let me start with a story. A few months ago, I was having coffee with a friend, let's call him Marcus, and he was frustrated. I can't tell if anyone's actually interested in me, he said. Every dating coach says different things. Some say if she touches her hair, she's interested. Others say if she mirrors your body language. I feel like I need a decoder ring just to have a conversation. Sound familiar? Here's the truth. We've complicated something that should be natural. We've turned human connection into a game of chess, where everyone's trying to outsmart everyone else, and nobody's being authentic. The ancient Stoics had a different approach. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what's within our control. Our own character, our own responses, our own authenticity. Marcus Aurelius wrote about approaching others with genuine curiosity and respect, not as puzzles to solve. When we try to read people like they're secret codes, we miss the most important thing. Genuine human connection isn't about decoding signals. It's about creating an environment where authentic interest can emerge naturally. The science of authentic attraction. Let's talk science for a moment. Dr. Helen Fisher's research on the neuroscience of love shows us that genuine attraction activates specific brain regions, the ventral tegmental area, the caudate nucleus, areas associated with reward and motivation. But here's what's fascinating. These same brain regions light up when we feel genuinely seen, understood, and valued by another person. It's not about physical appearance or status signals. It's about connection. A 2019 study, published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, found that people rate others as more attractive when they feel psychologically safe with them. When someone creates space for you to be authentic, your brain literally finds them more appealing. The Stoics understood this intuitively. Seneca wrote, "The willing destiny guides them. The unwilling destiny drags them." When someone is genuinely interested in you, they're willing. They choose to move toward connection rather than being dragged by social expectations or manipulation. Redefining interest. I want to share something personal. A few years ago, I was so focused on trying to read signs that I completely missed someone who was genuinely interested in getting to know me. She didn't play games, didn't send mixed signals, didn't make me guess. She was straightforward, curious about my thoughts, made time for conversations, and showed up consistently. But because she wasn't following the rules, I'd learned from dating advice. She didn't wait 3 days to text back, didn't act disinterested to seem mysterious. I almost overlooked her. That's when I realized genuine interest doesn't look like the games we've been taught to expect. It looks like interest, real, human, authentic interest. So let's talk about what that actually looks like. Chapter 2, The 5 Genuine Signs. Here are the 5 signs that someone is genuinely interested in you. Not playing games, not following dating rules, but actually drawn to who you are as a person. Sign 1. They create and protect time for you. The first sign isn't about body language or secret signals. It's about the most valuable resource we have, time. When someone is genuinely interested in you, they don't just make time for you, they protect that time. They don't double book themselves when you have plans. They don't constantly check their phone when you're talking. They don't treat your conversations like items to check off their to-do list. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." When someone is interested in you, they understand that life is made up of moments, and they want to fully experience the moments they share with you. This looks like suggesting specific times to hang out, not just saying we should get together sometime. Remembering details from previous conversations and following up on them. Being present during your interactions, not distracted or rushed. Making you feel like spending time with you is something they actively want to do, not an obligation. Compare this to game-playing behavior. Someone who's playing hard to get might deliberately make you wait, cancel plans to seem busy, or act distracted to appear mysterious. But someone who's genuinely interested, they value the connection enough to show up fully. Dr. Sherry Turkle's research on digital communication shows that one of the strongest predictors of relationship satisfaction is presence. The feeling that when you're with someone, they're truly with you. This isn't about grand gestures or expensive dates. It's about attention and intentionality. Sign 2. They show genuine curiosity about your inner world. The second sign is curiosity, but not surface-level small talk. Someone who's genuinely interested wants to understand how you think, what you value, what makes you unique. Epictetus taught that every person we meet is an opportunity to learn something new about human nature. When someone is interested in you, they approach you with this same curiosity. They want to understand your perspective, your experiences, your way of seeing the world. This shows up as asking follow-up questions that go deeper than the obvious response, remembering things you've told them and bringing them up later, being curious about your opinions, not just agreeing with everything you say, asking about your experiences, your background, your dreams and concerns, showing interest in the things that matter to you, even if they're not naturally interested in those topics themselves. I'll give you an example. Sarah noticed that her coworker David always asked thoughtful questions. When she mentioned she was taking a pottery class, instead of just saying, "That's cool," he asked what drew her to pottery, whether she found it relaxing or challenging, what her favorite piece was that she'd made. A week later, he followed up and asked how her latest project was going. This wasn't because David was particularly interested in pottery. It was because he was interested in Sarah. What motivated her, what brought her joy, what she was passionate about. Contrast this with superficial interest. Someone might ask, "What do you do?" but zone out during your answer, or compliment your appearance without showing any curiosity about your thoughts or personality. Sign 3, they're consistent in their behavior toward you. The third sign is consistency, and this might be the most important one. When someone is genuinely interested, their behavior toward you doesn't fluctuate wildly based on their mood, social context, or who else is around. Seneca wrote about the importance of character, being the same person regardless of circumstances. Someone who's genuinely interested in you will treat you with the same respect and warmth whether you're alone together or in a group, whether they're having a good day or a stressful one. consistency looks like. Their energy and enthusiasm for talking with you remains steady. They don't hot and cold you, interested one day, distant the next. They treat you the same way in public as they do in private. Their communication style remains relatively stable. They don't suddenly stop responding or become dramatically different in their texting patterns without explanation. They follow through on plans and commitments. Research and attachment. Theory shows that consistency is one of the foundations of secure relationships. When someone's behavior is predictable in a positive way, it creates psychological safety, which deepens connection and attraction. Now, I want to be clear about something. This doesn't mean someone needs to be exactly the same. Every single day, we all have moods and stress in life circumstances, but there's a difference between natural, human variation and hot and cold behavior. If someone is warm and engaged with you one day, then barely acknowledges your existence the next, then back to being affectionate, that's not genuine interest. That's either game playing or emotional unavailability. Sign 4. They include you in their mental and emotional space. The fourth sign is inclusion. When someone is genuinely interested, they naturally start including you in their thoughts, plans, and emotional experiences. The Stoics believe that we become connected to others through shared experiences and mutual understanding. When someone includes you in their mental space, they're creating that connection. This inclusion shows up as sharing things that remind them of you. I saw this article and thought you'd find it interesting, including you in future plans, even casual ones. There's this restaurant I want to try, want to go with me? Sharing their genuine thoughts and feelings, not just surface-level conversation, asking for your opinion on things that matter to them, remembering your preferences and considering them in their decisions. Dr. John Gottman's research on successful relationships shows that partners who last are constantly turning toward each other, sharing small moments, thoughts, and experiences throughout the day. When someone is interested in you, they naturally start doing this. Here's what this looked like with someone I knew. Emma would text me photos of interesting architecture she'd see while walking around the city because she knew I appreciated design. She'd mention movies she thought I'd like. When she was making decisions about weekend plans, she'd ask if I wanted to join, not as an afterthought, but because she genuinely wanted my company. Sign 5. They invest in your growth and happiness. The fifth and final sign is the most meaningful. When someone is genuinely interested in you, they care about your growth, your happiness, and your well-being, not as it serves them, but because they value you as a person. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." But I'd extend that. The best love is to want someone to be their best self, not a version that serves your needs. Someone who cares about your growth will encourage your goals and ambitions, even if they don't directly benefit. Support you through challenges without trying to fix everything for you. Celebrate your successes genuinely. Give you space to be yourself, including parts of yourself that are still developing. Offer perspective and advice when asked, but respect your autonomy to make your own decisions. This is different from someone who wants to change you or mold you into their ideal partner. Someone who's genuinely interested accepts who you are now while supporting who you're becoming. Chapter 3. Responding with Stoic Wisdom. The Stoic approach to recognition. So you've recognized these signs in someone's behavior toward you. Now what? The Stoic approach isn't to immediately strategize how to capitalize on this interest. It's to respond with wisdom, authenticity, and respect for both yourself and the other person. Epictetus taught us to focus on what's within our control. You can't control whether someone likes you, but you can control how you respond to their interest. You can choose to be authentic, kind, and emotionally mature in your response. How to respond authentically. Here's how to respond when you recognize genuine interest. First, reciprocate appropriately. If you're interested too, don't play games. Show similar signs, make time for them, ask questions, be consistent, include them in your thoughts. Second, communicate directly. The Stoics valued clarity and honesty. If you're enjoying someone's company and want to spend more time together, say so. I really enjoy our conversations. Or, I'd love to take you to dinner sometime. Simple. Direct, authentic. Third, respect the pace. Just because someone is showing interest doesn't mean you need to rush into anything. Take time to get to know each other genuinely. Fourth, stay true to yourself. Don't become a different person to maintain their interest. The goal isn't to be liked by everyone. It's to find genuine connection with people who appreciate who you really are. When interest isn't mutual, sometimes you'll recognize these signs in someone you're not interested in romantically. The Stoic approach here is to be kind but clear. You don't have to reciprocate romantic interest, but you can appreciate the courage it takes to be vulnerable and open. Be honest about your feelings. Prolonging uncertainty isn't kind to anyone. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, whenever you want to cheer yourself, consider the good qualities of your companions. Even if romantic interest isn't mutual, you can still appreciate someone's genuine character and treat them with respect. Chapter 4. The Deeper Philosophy. Why this approach transforms relationships. Here's what happens when you shift from trying to decode secret signals to recognizing genuine interest. Your entire approach to relationships changes. You stop seeing other people as puzzles to solve and start seeing them as individuals to understand. You stop playing games because you realize that games prevent the very connection you're seeking. You start attracting people who are capable of genuine interest because you're modeling it yourself. Seneca wrote, "Every new thing excites the mind, but a large estate does not. The mind that is not excited by gain is content." When you stop trying to win at dating and start focusing on authentic connection, you find something much more valuable than conquest. You find understanding. The paradox of not needing to be liked. Here's the beautiful paradox the Stoics understood. When you stop desperately needing to be liked, you become much more likable. When you stop trying to impress everyone, you attract people who are genuinely impressed by who you are. This doesn't mean being cold or aloof. It means being secure enough in yourself that you can be genuinely warm and interested in others, without needing their validation in return. I promised you the one Stoic principle that changed everything for me, and here it is. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." Applied to relationships, this means the quality of your connections isn't determined by other people's feelings toward you. It's determined by the thoughts, intentions, and energy you bring to those connections. When you focus on being genuinely interested in others, asking thoughtful questions, creating safe space for authenticity, being consistent and kind, you don't just become better at recognizing when others are interested in you. You become the kind of person others are naturally drawn to. This shifted everything for me. Instead of analyzing every interaction for signs of interest, I started focusing on being interesting, not in a performative way, but in a genuinely curious, emotionally available way. If this resonated with you, here's what I want you to do. In your next conversation with someone you care about, romantic interest or otherwise, practice one of these principles. Be genuinely curious. Be present. Be consistent in your kindness. Let me know in the comments how it goes. And if you want more content that combines ancient wisdom with modern psychology, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Remember, you don't need to decode anyone. You just need to be genuinely interested in understanding them. The right people will recognize and appreciate that authenticity. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.